Hey guys, it's your boy MPS with part 3 of this video about my dreams for football. Hope everyone's well, having a good time, and hope the weather will be as good as possible. Always like to see blue sky. And anyhow, I'll try and get on my list, so I hope the video is not too long. I hope people out there will enjoy it as ever. Please let me know what you think as ever. And after this, I hope to go for a walk. So, anywho, number 21, to recap some of my ideas. I said about how I hope Italian football will be number one. Italy will be the number one country for football, and Italians will practice as much as possible, and have the number one national and club team, national team and local teams like club teams and all that. And Celtic will be number one team in Scotland, and things like that. And I hope to build bridges between different countries and do fundraising events and football for good and all that sort of thing. And I also hope to have make Italian football proud again, or please make Italian football proud again. As I say, I take it quite literally, and I like manners. So please make Italian football proud again. I like to have footballs and other merchandise that people can make, and then like Italians to network together and encourage each other, working together to make Italian football proud and become number one, and Italy to become number one for technology and things like that. Big one for football. And build bridges and things like that. And make the team proud, make Italians proud of football again after Italian football's gone through some hard times and not been as good as it was before, and people seem to have fallen out of love with it. So I hope they'll fall in love with it again, so to speak, and encourage each other, like as many people in Italy as possible. Like parents encourage their children to play football, girls and women to get behind the team as well, and things like that. The whole country to come together, and also people from the diaspora and things like that. Number 22, I hope to go to Italy and also to go to Celtic and Celtic Park in Glasgow and share my ideas as much as possible, and hope those ideas will be really good and I'll have something to be proud of and show a positive side of dyslexia and strengths of dyslexia, change people's perceptions of neurodiversity for football and show what strengths we have. And I hope to share with Italian football clubs and the national team and Celtic about positive stories about dyslexics in football and dyslexic in sports generally, especially football, though, and find out about dyslexic footballers and things like that, and make it like a Dyslexia United team, especially in Italy, or especially to play against Italians and practice as much as possible, 5-a-side, 6-a-side, 7-a-side, and all sorts of different games, and playing football on clay, we're on tennis courts and playing football, tennis, and basketball, basketball, and things like that. Where you got to kick it to the net and all sorts of exercises. I thought of an exercise where during the coronavirus problems, where people the 2-meter challenge, where you stand 2 meters apart and you have to and pass the ball to each other and do different exercises, but you can't stand too close together and things like that. So you can still play football either inside with a softball or outdoors and still keep active while maintaining a certain distance. 23, again, hope to do lots of fundraisers for through football for poor people around the world, like people in slums and orphanages, and make football for fundraising, soccer fundraisers or whatever, around the world and things like that. And a certain percentage of that profit or money made would perhaps go towards, if it was my idea, or a football tournament I'd like to make, or a cup I'd like to make, a football tournament or tourney as I call them or whatever, then a certain amount of money that would be raised would go towards the development of Italian football. So I know it's a bit of a bias of me, but it would go towards buying footballs for all possible people in Italy. I'd love everyone in Italy to have football and to unite together through football, and also have as much training equipment as possible and things like that. 24. Although I'm an Italian fan, and I've talked about being an anti-imperialist, so I hope they'll be I'd love to make football tournaments like anti-imperial tournaments and all that sort of stuff. But I'd also love for Italy to come together and unite together with football, and also have diplomacy, as I say, with the rest of the world through football, wherever they go abroad, playing football, and a trade where Italians, Africans help Italians to practice football to become number one at football again, or at least, or even become number one at football. Some people might say he was never number one, but a long time ago I think we were. I say we as a fan, but Italians in return would help Africans develop their technology. So a trade. So Italians help Africa with technology, and like training and all that and fundraising for them to have equipment and technology, and Africans help Italians to practice in football and things like that, and like they can have football fundraisers with each other. So like play football on and record it on YouTube, and the money raised, half of it could go towards African technology development and advancement, and half could go towards Italian football and things like that, and all sorts of partnerships like that around the world, playing football with people in slums and orphanages in Asia. So like they have a lot of fun, but also the Italian players still get more practice and all that sort of stuff as well. So like it will be hopefully a mutual benefit. Number 25, I hope to have things like the Republic Cup and to create lots of tournaments, the MKS Cup, the Practice Cup, or the MKS Practice Cup, which will benefit Italian teams and Celtic as much as possible through creative ideas. 26, I also hope to have things like the Republic Cup, using my imagination to have things like the Republic Cup and things like the Roman Empire Cup, where Italy plays football with countries which were part of the empire, and that sort of thing. 27, I hope to look at how to thank sponsors, and for people from Italy to, like, obviously sponsors would sponsor football, like spaces for sport or places for sport, like I talked about, and football pitches and footballs and things like that. Obviously they're going to want to do it for their PR, so I hope that Italians will reward them with their custom and all that sort of stuff, and also like send thank you letters to people who have contributed to Italian football. And also, like, I know Italian football has like a wall of fame, but I thought it could have like Hollywood has a walk of fame. Italian football could have like the walk of fame for Italian football, where it has like similar thing to Hollywood, but famous people who have contributed towards the development of Italian football. So it could be like the 30 best overseas coaches, 30 best overseas managers, 30 best Italian managers, 30 top people who have contributed to Italian football in some way. Managers like Mourinho, who have, I know he's a bit annoying, but he has helped Italian football to win like trophies overseas. Like, well, he helped Inter to win that Champions League and things like that. So, any manager or coach who's helped, or as well as players who have won trophies outside of Italy, would be like on these sorts of awards. They could have like lots of awards and award ceremonies and things like that. And acknowledgements of those who have contributed to Italian football in some way. Hopefully in the future I'll be on there as well, but which would feel good, and hopefully my ideas will benefit Italian football as best as possible. Again, maybe even sending thank you letters to people who have contributed to Italian football in some way. And I talked before about how I love like Celtic fans to write to like teams who have beat Rangers and thank them for beating Rangers or things like that. 28, again, I hope that I know football can get a bad reputation because of match fixing or scandals or violence, hooliganism or whatever, but I'd love to be able to talk about football in a way which makes people who are not interested in football interested in it. Sorry for repeating myself, but also like to make it football for good and change the reputation. And as I talked before about how in Italy, how FIFA, football, the sport I love, which is football, the governing body for that, and Italian football be involved in match fixing or corruption. And I'd love to like have centres in Italy which tackle match corruption, or have ethics committees in Italy which look how to make sure the best team wins through practicing more, which I hope will be Italian teams, of course, and how to cut back on any match fixing and make sure the officials are doing their job properly and doing the best they can as humanly possible. Obviously, everyone makes mistakes, but as ever, I hope that makes sense. Number 29, I hope for Anglo-Indians, my fellow Anglo-Indians and dyslexics to play, and people from neurodiverse backgrounds to play football in Italy, which I hope will help Italians to practice as well and improve the reputation of people, or if you know what I mean, of people who are dyslexic or ADHD or even autism in Italy, and hopefully they'll have lots of fun as well. And I hope to encourage Anglo-Indians to buy Italian football kits and to practice playing football with Italians, and also Celtic, as I say. And I know Italy has a reputation, and unfortunately can have a lot of racism. So, but I hope to improve the relationship between Italians and mixed race people through football. Like, if Italians see that Brazil, which is quite mixed, does really well in football, then hopefully Italian clubs will have a better reputation with mixed race people. And I know people might say it's not that simple. Sorry if this video is a bit long. but also like how France won the World Cup with a very diverse team. So if people in Italy find out about, like, think about that and say how France won with a very diverse team and Brazil's very mixed, then hopefully they'll think of migrants in a better light and people of colour, and also have a better reputation with mixed race people through football and things like that. And other countries as well, like Spain and Portugal, France itself. I love to have those improved relations as well, but especially Italian football, because I mainly support Italy as number one, and France is my second favourite team, and all that sort of thing. So anyway, and I love to improve like Italians to practice football with Eurasian, transcontinental, generally Mid Eastern and Mediterranean nations, and again people from those like rich people from those backgrounds who buy clubs to buy Italian ones instead of say from other countries, so they can invest in the infrastructure and academies and training and all that sort of stuff. And number 30, I hope this video didn't sound too mad, and hopefully some people out there, as I often say, will like my quirky ideas. I'd love to know what you think. How much did I repeat? How many things did I come up with, new sort of information? And dare I ask, how interesting was this video? If you want to give me a score out of 10 or whatever comment you want to make, even if it's a negative one, if you have to, please post any comments, preferably positive. And I really appreciate any likes and shares, ending on a positive. Sorry if it was long again, but ending on a positive. Hope I get some likes at least, and people sharing the video. Anyway, peace out.